So here we have our step counter basically all ready for us. We have a function that allows us to record the number of steps every time the microbit is shaken. We have something in place where we can actually display the number of steps that we've done or that we've taken, and we have a function in here that allows us to reset the number of steps so we can start over again. Now, one of the things when Gracie and I were talking that we sort of thought of was that with the Fitbit, for example, it actually was a pretty cool device that sort of signaled to you whenever you achieved a goal or reached a milestone, like 10,000 steps or something like that. So we thought, why let's see if we can figure out how to do that with the microbit as well. So what we needed to do is set a goal for ourselves. And so Gracie sort of decided she wanted to set a goal of 100 steps for herself. So the first thing we need to do is to take the while true loop. And basically we're going to use this while true loop to say while steps are equal to a certain number, we want some sort of action to happen that notifies us that we have reached that goal. So we're going to use this while true loop, and we are actually going to take something from the logic section, the equals, and we're going to snap this into place there. And we're going to say while steps are equal to, and we can just type in 100, we want something to happen. And Gracie and I thought, because it's Canada Day, why not have the microbit play O Canada for us, right? Just the first part. So we have the 4 notes, O Canada, right? So we're going to try and build that. Here you can see we have our music section. Let's drag this over. If we go into music, we can see right up top here, we have play tone, middle C it starts out, for 1 beat. And basically we're going to just create a series of these tones that will play the music for us. Now what we did is we went in, if you click on the middle C here, you can see that you can actually play the middle C, or you can play other notes to try and figure out what notes better suit what you want to play. And we figured out that the high E, which is right here, is the first note in O Canada. And we have it set for 2 beats. So it's going to play that, play that tone for 2 beats. Now we can actually duplicate this. If we right click, we can duplicate, and we'll stick our duplicated block in below that. And the next note that we figured out was the high G, which was right there. And we have that set for 2 beats as well. Now, the next thing that we had to do was add a rest in there, because in between those 2 notes and the next note, there was a rest. And we have our rest block right here. So this is all found in the music section. And we set this rest at 1/8 of a beat. And then let's duplicate this again. And we're going to click another note in there. We figured out this was a high G, which is what it is already, and it's supposed to go for 1 beat. Then we have our 4th note, so let's duplicate this again and snap it in. And the 4th note we figured out was a high C. Right there. And the high C was on there for 2 beats. And then to finish things off, because this is just going to end there, we want to have a rest of 1 beat at the end of that. Now, the first thing that we notice is that this is all sort of shaded. It's not solid like the other blocks, and that's because it isn't closed off with a sort of hat type block that kind of completes the sequence of code. So what we want to do is, while this is true, we want it to just repeat itself, right? So it's just keeps playing these 4 notes over and over again. And so if we go into our basic section here, we can find the forever loop, and we'll just snap that in, and now we can see that the whole section is lit up like everything else. Now the other thing we notice, if we look over here on the left, is that the diagram is now showing us how to connect our alligator clips to our little buzzer or whatever we have making our sound for this exercise. And so it really sort of spells it out for you as a beginner. If you don't know, okay, I've made the code, how do I make the connections on my microbit so that it's sending the signals through the right pins and the right rings here. And so this actually shows you what to do. And the neat thing now too is that now that we have an A plus B pressed function, we have A plus B over here. And so it'll actually it'll do that command for us if we simulate it this way. So it's kind of neat. So now we have a step counter that will keep track of our steps. It'll display our steps here by pressing A, and then it'll reset our steps here. And then finally, we have a function in here that once we reach a certain goal for ourselves, a song will play. And in this case, it's O Canada, because it's Canada Day. Now, Gracie and I sort of thought, why not add something else in there? Because we have a B button that's not being used. So we thought, let's add the B button in there. And we were sort of talking, and Gracie said, well, it is kind of a cool day today, but it might warm up. So we thought, wouldn't it be neat to actually keep track of the temperature outside? And that's something that the microbit can actually do, which is kind of neat. So if we go into here, we can say show number, and then temperature is actually in our input here, all down through here. So we have our compass reading, we have the light level, acceleration, so we can actually keep track of acceleration. We have a moving object with the microbit attached to it. But here we have our temperature, and we can just click this in there, and just like that, we have a new function where a new feature where if the B button is pressed, it'll display what temperature it is outside. So it's a kind of neat add-on to our little step counter that I'm sure Fitbits maybe aren't able to do, but we're able to do with the microbit. So that's our code. Now, all we have to do, I'm going to take my microbit and I'm going to plug it in to my computer using my micro USB cord. Okay, so it's plugged in, and we can see that it's registered the microbit in my D drive. Now, all we have to do with this, we can see that we've named this program step counter. So all we have to do is save it. And once you save it, it's downloaded to your computer. So you can actually go into your documents and open up your downloads, and there it is there. Now, it's really easy. This has created a hex file. It's super easy to send this hex file to your microbit. All you have to do is click on it and drag it over to the microbit D drive. In this case, I have D, and let go. And then it's compiling all of that and downloading that code to your microbit. And there we go. Now we have our code that we've created in make code downloaded to our microbit. So now we can go ahead and start to hook things up, like the battery and everything, and get it ready for taking it out on the road.